Hey guys, what's going on today? How you guys doing? Hey, what's going on? All right, let me get this all situated here. There we go. Albert, how you doing? I've got a little live stream going on, and Albert's on with me. Rico, how you doing? From humid Orlando, Florida. I've been in Orlando back in probably 1976. We did a family vacation down there. So that was kind of fun. And I remember we went to Disney World. And yeah. So we went to Disney World, and it was 1976 because I remember the Wings album with that I Love You song on there. Silly Love Songs came out, and I remember hearing that on the radio, and it was a big hit song. And yeah, Silly Love Songs was the name of the song. And that's one of my memories of 1976 Disneyland. See if I can adjust this camera so you can see the guitar a little bit better. Maybe I can. So, what do you guys are thinking now about all this stuff that's happened with Gibson? You heard the news about Gibson? Oh, they're suing Dean guitars. Hey, Dry Heat 480, how you doing? The other day you were on with Ben Combs, or Ben Combs. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he said Dry Heat 480. So, yeah, that's because he doesn't realize that's our area code, right? 480. 480, man, representing East Valley. So yeah, a bunch of stuff went down with Gibson where they're suing Dean guitars over copyright infringements. And you know, you start to have a few thoughts on that stuff. Hello, Randy, how you doing? I sold Randy a compressor and a blues driver. And he says, I got all my effects plugged in and I'm ready to go. I'm kind of nervous to turn them on. Thanks for the great deals. And I look forward to filling that pedal board that you sold me. Yeah. So, dude, don't be afraid to turn them on. Fire that shit up. Get it going. Must have been Guitar Hack. It might have been. Laguna Palms, 602 Sunny Slope, Arizona. How you doing, man? Yeah, so Mark Agnesi, who, you know, I loved watching his Norman's Rare Guitar videos. And I watched those things for a long time. And what was good about it, he was very casual. He told you a lot of good facts and statistics and stats and specifications, and he really knew what he was talking about. And Telly Tuesday was a lot of fun, and he really knows his guitars. And now he's over with Gibson, and I mean, that's cool. You know, you feel like you're taking a step up in your career. And but I loved the Norman's Rare Guitars Guitar of the Day show that he did. And then he would sit on the couch and he would play those guitars, and he would play Beatles tunes, and he'd play the Stones, and he loved Mick Jagger and you know, all the Stones. He, you know, everything was really cool about what he did. And now he's making those videos for Gibson, and he's playing for about 30 seconds, but he's not playing a song that we all know. So he's just kind of probably making up his own stuff. And they're kind of boring. And then there's the way Gibson does it is we're not really concentrating on the guitars anymore. He talks about the thing about Mark Agnesi is you talk about an old 70s Gibson, and he's got all that knowledge for years and years up in his brain, and he knows what he's talking about. But when you hand him a 2019 and you say, here, Mark, tell the people all about this guitar, Mark's like, well, I've had this thing in my hands now for 15 minutes. I don't really even know what to say about it. So he plays a song and then they're doing side shots of him, and nobody wants to see the side of Mark's face when he's talking, and so the new videos are just kind of weird. So, but that whole thing about Gibson is suing Dean Guitars, and that because of the headstock is quite. Here's where Gibson fucked up right in the beginning. If they're so worried about copyright infringements, here's what they did. Back in the 50s, they bought Epiphone because Epiphone was their biggest competition. So what do? If you're going to be a bully, you're going to buy your biggest competition. And then instead of just getting rid of Epiphone altogether, they started making cheap duplicates of their own guitars. So Gibson through Epiphone started the whole thing. Okay, these are just some of my thoughts on this, guys. But because I have a couple of Epiphones here in the store, and you know what they are? They're imported versions of Gibson. So Gibson can only blame themselves because they created through Epiphone, they created the whole, hey, let's take a great American guitar. Let's go starting in 1970, they shipped everything to China or Japan. And so, hey, Guitar Bazaar, how you doing? So anyhow, I'm kind of thinking that Gibson set this whole disaster up themselves by purchasing Epiphone and starting to make fake Gibsons at the Epiphone plant. That's basically all this whole thing was doing. Gerald, how you doing, man? So, and so this has been going on for like 40 years now, where Epiphone is making versions of Gibson. And that started this whole thing where people are like, look, Epiphone's making versions of Gibsons. Now what's it going to hurt if we start making versions of Gibsons? And the only reason that I think that they started going after Dean guitars, because the similarities aren't even close. And the headstock's totally different. Everything's completely different about it. Hey, Cliff, how you doing?
Cool.
So everything's completely different.
Night here?
No.
Okay, good. I can relax. That dude's in here.
So ZIMM'S 02. Hey, how you doing? So again, I'm doing a little live stream, Cliff. You want to join in with me?
Maybe I can poke my head in.
Grab up a chair. Put it right here if you want. My buddy's Cliff's down in here today, and we've done some videos together. Oh, there he is.
Hey, guys.
The man. So again, I'm talking about, okay, here's why Gibson, in my opinion, went after Dean guitars. Because those Luna guitars, Dean sells those Luna guitars, and those things are freaking awesome. Every week, a girl walks into my store and she says, do you have any of those Luna guitars? That company is killing it. And that's part of Dean. And so Gibson, being the big bullies that they are, they're going to go after that popular guitar brand. And those Luna acoustics, the girls love them. They're selling crazy.
So are you talking about the Gibson video that came
I'm
out?
talking about the Gibson
Oh
video.
my God, that was crazy.
Hey, let me grab you a chair. Cliff, sit right here for a
Oh, I'm
second.
good. I'm right here.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
See what you can. That was crazy. I didn't see the original video, but I saw a guy who was like doing kind of like a like a post, like what the heck's going on and stuff like that.
Right.
So basically, what I saw, they're like, okay, you got to cover up the logos, and people have been doing that, whatever. But now it's like the shape, the shape, the headstock, the bookmark, whatever, and then they're basically reach out to us. We want to work with you. They don't want to work with you. What they want you to do is they want all those people that are doing reviews and all this stuff. They want you to contact them so that they can charge you or come up with some kind of licensing agreement that restricts you in what you can and can't do. So
I don't know anything about that, but I do know that the headstocks look completely different. And again, I don't think they have anybody to blame, because when they bought Epiphone and started making Epiphone versions of every Gibson guitar back in the 50s, that opened up the floodgates for all the other companies in the world to say, hey, well, we could probably make Gibson-ish guitars too. So what the hell? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about that. BC Rich is number one.
But I mean, Gibson, you've had so many problems the last couple of years. This is the last thing you need to do for PR.
It is not
you need
good,
to be helping the community.
But it's the new CEO of Gibson. He was not involved in this. This is something that's been going on for like 2 years now.
Oh.
So this is the old guy that's still messing stuff up for them.
Yeah,
so
kind of funny. You talk about all those lawsuit eras with Gibson and all that stuff.
Right.
Man, what if we flip the script and they're dealing with lawsuits from all these people with licensing that are like, hey, Gibson, they're suing Gibson for not letting them review their products.
Gibson didn't invent the 3 tuners on each side headstock. That has been going on. Martin has been doing that for 60 or 70 years. Before Gibson was even a business.
Yeah.
So
but they were talking about it's all to protect their heritage and their history. You know how you protect your heritage and your history? You do good right now. Right now, you have a brand that people love.
Mm-hmm.
You make your people love it. You support your customers. You give good quality, good value to where your brand name recognition has value today. That's how you protect your history and your heritage. You can't rely on the past to move forward to the future.
And there's all these companies in China that are making Gibsons from the old. Okay, here you go. You have a company like Epiphone. You go to China, and then you go into Japan, and then you go into China. There's all these factories in China that are making Les Pauls through Epiphone, right? And now these factories have been there for 40, 50, 60 years. And you've got 2 or 3 generations of Chinese citizens that are guitar manufacturers. And now suddenly they're building new factories. The old factories are still sitting there. What do you expect these people to do? They've sat there for generations. They've been guitar builders. They're going to open them factories up, and they're going to continue building guitars.
Builds jobs. Like in the U.S. They want jobs in the U.S. They want jobs there too.
If Gibson's worried about fake guitars, they need to go to China. They need to purchase the old factories that are building fakes, and then they need to level it. Right?
So like the Fender model, going over to Mexico, having their own factory that they run.
Yeah.
But Fender built stuff out overseas in those same factories. There's really like 4 or 5 factories that are.
Let me kick my AC on. I'm starting to sweat.
Oh, you're getting into it, huh?
So you got any other thoughts on Gibson right now?
I don't know, man. I thought they were coming around. And their things are good for now. But, they pull crap like this.
And the only people that are going to make any money off any of this is the lawyers.
Yeah.
Gibson's not going to win any of those lawsuits.
Yep.
So anyhow, thoughts on Gibson? They're kind of messing up again. The new CEO, what's his name?
No idea.
The new CEO, he used to work for Levi's. And blue jeans, there's never any controversy when it comes to blue jeans. Either your zipper broke or you go from button fly to zipper. There's no controversy in blue jeans. That what an easy corporation to run, right? I probably could CEO Levi Strauss Company.
I think you probably do. Yeah,
And Cliff here, yeah, we'd be fine at Levi's. So this guy got himself. If you want to, if the new CEO of Gibson really wanted to put stuff in on a good kind of, reset, he would drop all those charges, because that was stuff that the old CEO started. This stuff has been going on for 2 years already. They're paying lawyers. They're trying to do a bunch of stuff, and it's all just a bunch of worthless stuff. JC, yeah, he's the new owner of or CEO of Gibson.
JC, his last name isn't Pennies, is it?
Yeah, but they really should just drop the charges and let it go. And then they would say, hey, Gibson has dropped all of these claims against Dean. They're only going after Dean because those Luna guitars are great.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if people notice the trend, but it's used to be, and it still is, if you're a rock star or a famous musician, that's where a lot of endorsements come. But now you see people with YouTube channels that have signature guitars, signature pedals, endorsements, et cetera, and so now it's like, why don't we just help endorse some of this stuff and support the community? I mean, you're getting brand name recognition. You have people on YouTube. The trend now is in YouTube channels. People are getting really good at what they do, and all of a sudden, these people are getting endorsed simply because they have a YouTube channel and because they have such a following. And they're so good at what they do. They're very good musicians. I mean, you have to be really good to have a really good YouTube channel that a lot of people subscribe to.
The best thing going for Gibson guitars right now, what YouTube channel is doing better for Gibson than any of the others? Trogley's guitar channel. He does reviews and sales on Gibson guitars 3 or 4 times a week. He's got a new video talking about Gibson's guitars. And that channel is growing. Trogley's is doing more for Gibson than any Mark Agnesi video out there. Trogley's is doing more than anything that happened at NAMM. They really should pat that guy on the back and maybe, pat him on the back and say thank you, at least, because Trogley's guitar channel is just, he's got so many great things to say about all the Gibsons, and he never says anything negative at all. He loves those things, and he's getting thousands and thousands of views every day. And if Gibson was smart, they would probably reward that guy and his channel a little bit, just to say, wow, thank you so much, because Trogley's is kicking butt helping Gibson. So anyhow,
Yep. Dunlop picks.
Suggestion: use Dunlop picks and strings.
You use Dunlop picks?
Okay. Yeah, I do. That one right there.
Is your particular size engaging?
No, just mediums.
Medium.
So what else is going on? Glenn was in here the other day, Guitar Bazaar, and he showed me, we went on the Gibson site and we looked at a brand new Les Paul Jr. and they want $3,600 for it. Isn't that what it was? Some super expensive. So anyhow, I've never really been a huge Gibson fan. For one, I think why are they so into, this is such a classic headstock design? Well, what it is because there's so much angle on the strings that they don't stay in tune. The G string never stays in tune, and the headstocks just break. So who cares about a legacy of, they're trying to save a legacy of broken headstocks?
You know why the headstocks break?
It's the break angle.
The angle of it back to where the bottom of it is lower than the body of the guitar. So when it falls, all the weight goes on that little corner.
Right on the point.
Yep.
So it's a bad design, and they're suing people over a bad design. You know, so it's kind of crazy. If again, I just think if they were smart, they would drop all those stupid lawsuits and start saving their money, because they're just paying lawyers. And yeah, try to do something better than that. Glenn says, I think they should have said our quality has been bad, but we are going to make guitars that our customers expect, rather than blaming infringement on their failure. I know Gibson's just been one failure after another, but you know, every time you see The Song Remains the Same and Jimmy Page is playing that Les Paul, you're hooked.
Marshall and Gibson.
Yeah, yeah. So anyhow, we're down at my shop today, and I got 13 guys watching. So thank you guys very much for watching.
Hi, 13 guys.
My open sign is plugged in. It is lit up, and we are open for business today. I've sold I sold the rat pedal already today. It's been kind of slow, man. It's hot out. I'm going to blame the heat on why there's not too many people in here.
Can you see the fire?
There's a fire somewhere, huh?
Oh, look. If you look right out Superstition on the north side, all that's not clouds. That's all smoke.
Wow. It's hot out, guys. Gerald says, thanks for the yo-yo. I sent some yo-yos out.
I want that one Michael Anthony was playing.
That's at my house. I still have that one.
That was cool.
Yeah, so let me show you guys the yo-yo. So here they are, guys. I had some yo-yos made. That's my little ZIMM'S guitar logo on there with the palm tree. And the reason I decided to use that palm tree is because right outside my front door, 20 foot outside my front door, is like an 80-foot tall cell phone tower that looks like a fake palm tree. So I'm like, okay, I'm hiding underneath that palm tree. So that's kind of why I went this direction with my logo. That's genius, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
And so McKnight had a yo-yo that says, know your gear. And so I guess it was maybe 5 months ago or so. He says, Dane, I have a gift for you. And I'm like, oh, cool. You know, what's it going to be? And he handed me a yo-yo. And I'm like, okay, well, cool, man, a yo-yo. So for some strange reason, I took the yo-yo to NAMM, to Winter NAMM out in Anaheim. And you guys have probably already heard this story. But I just went around, and everybody that I recognized as far as rock stars or maybe popular YouTubers, you know, Jared Dines, guys like that, I asked them to do a yo-yo trick for me. Noodles from The Offspring and Michael Anthony and Billy Sheehan. And so, yeah, if you guys go on my channel and kind of look back into some of my videos, watch the yo-yo video. Watch the yo-yo video, guys. It was kind of fun.
So was that at NAMM?
It was. Mm-hmm. You guys are all talking about BC Rich guitars today.
I've never owned a BC Rich.
Oh, let me show you a BC Rich I got. Go ahead and talk to Cliff here for a minute while I grab my BC Rich. I don't hear you talking, Cliff.
Well, nobody's talking to me.
Hold on, I'm getting it.
So, Iron Bassist, do you have the 5150 head?
Oh, here it is. Look at this. Do you guys recognize this thing? Hey, you know what? I I've always had really bad Wi-Fi down here, but I went direct. So I got myself an internet cable and I've hooked it up direct. So hopefully
You're smoking.
Hopefully it's not as grainy and you guys can actually see. But yeah, I got this big old BC Rich, and it has, you know, it has a really cool kind of, you know, these two stripes going all the way down the pick guard, or not, or the neck.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
The fretboard. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then the name on there.
Is that inlay or?
It is.
That's cool.
It says made in China on it. But what does it say right there? Oh, it says trace. So what do you guys know about a BC Rich trace bass? You guys ever seen any of those? Glenn says that it's better. My internet's a little bit better, so that was good, man. I had to figure out how to get that a little bit better. Yeah, so there it is, guys. Got a big ass BC Rich trace bass. So it's got the binding, or a nice little stripe around here. It's got the two little stripes that go up all the way down the fretboard. And this thing's in pretty good shape. So yeah, if you're putting a Motley Crue tribute band together or something.
Or maybe you're doing a Wasp medley, right? Remember them guys?
Wasp? Oh heck yeah!
Yeah.
Wasp
They were
is
big
huge.
BC Richards, weren't they? How's it going?
I'm running out of time anymore. Don't have time for it.
What's going on today?
I'll pick up the
You're-
tomorrow, but I just don't have time today.
Okay.
That is money though.
Okay,
And I told you that,
245.
well, it's a little.
Hey, we did a YouTube video about your amp
Already.
and every capacitor that he's. Yeah, we
Really?
did a video on it.
I'll have to look at that. Told you I'd bring that guitar down, maybe check the neck. I mean, just go over it.
Guys, so I'm doing a live stream right now, but a really nice customer of mine just came in and he wants to show us a guitar. Oh, it's a Guild.
Yeah.
What model is this?
Starfire 5.
Starfire 5.
Yeah.
What year is this thing?
1965.
19. So this is the fun thing when you have a guitar shop is friendly guys bring amps and guitars in for you to look at. And so this is a 1965 Guild Starfire.
It goes with that Fender amp. I bought them both at the same time.
You bought this in 1965 at
Milano's.
Milano's Music. Ooh, it plays nice.
Yeah. Boys loved it. Hadn't been tuned for years, but
Guitar Bazaar says this was built in Providence, Rhode Island.
really,
Yeah. It's got these open back tuners on it. Yeah, a Guild Starfire. It's nice buckle rash on it. Your binding is turned a nice yellow color. Because that was nice and bright white when you bought it in
Yeah.
65, huh?
it's all that smoke.
Yeah. Did you
What
play
kind of smoke?
Did you play any legendary bars or anything, any good
No, just all around Phoenix.
all around the Phoenix? This has
Phoenix
been
area.
in Phoenix its whole life,
Yeah.
since 1965.
Yep.
How cool is that?
Played played at Pinnacle Peak for years. We played at Riata Pass for years. We played at Frankie's right after Waylon Jennings left. We played a lot of places all around.
Okay.
All around. I did it for about 12 years, and then I had to really get a job.
Yeah.
Kids gotta eat.
It wasn't paying the bills, huh?
Yeah, well, it was, but my wife says enough's enough.
How much was this guitar in 1965? What'd you pay?
Boy, I probably paid.
I'm gonna guess $350.
Well, because the amp and guitar was about $1,200 or $1,400 for both of them.
For both.
Yeah, so.
Wow. So it's a 1966 Fender Blackface Deluxe Reverb
Reverb, yeah. Twin
and
reverb.
a Guild Starfire. And in 1965, it came to $1,400
Yeah,
for
somewhere
both
around
items.
12 or $1,400.
12 to 14. So maybe possibly.
All I could afford.
I wonder how much the amp was back then. Nice low frets. I like small frets,
So do
believe
I.
it or not. Everybody puts big, thick jumbo frets on
Why?
everything.
Your fingers get
And-
sore after a while.
And I'm one of those guys that like to slide up and down. And I blast through chords, and jumbo frets kind of slow me down. I'm not one of those fast tappers, shredder kind of guys. Gerald says this almost looks like the guitar Elvis used in his 1968 comeback special.
Oh, really?
That was probably a big old Martin or a
Yeah.
big old.
Gil?
It was probably
or
a
Martin.
Gibson that
Or
that
Gibson.
Elvis
Yeah, they're
used.
all the same company.
Super cool, man. Super cool. Strings don't feel too bad.
No, they haven't been played for years.
There's some, you can feel where every fret is kind of on
Uh-huh.
them now.
Yeah.
This is super neat, man.
Well, anyway, I've got to go pick up equipment. Not
Okay.
Guitars.
Okay.
I
Let
got
me
to
hand
go.
this back to you, and thank you for bringing that thing in.
Well,
Showing me.
do you think we need to do anything with the neck or anything?
I would maybe we could change the strings, but I could set my gauge on it and see if the
Why
neck's
don't you
nice
do
and
that?
straight. But
I'll pay
okay,
for it.
okay,
But, I mean, I'm going to get everything all done. I might as well get it done,
that sounds great.
you know, so. Do that. I just want to make sure that guy got paid.
Okay,
I get.
let me go through here and let me see where you're at.
My wife bought me this case.
There we are.
She brought me the same one. I'm kidding.
Yeah, my dollars.
Okay.
This is a good hard shell.
That's mine. You gotta hold on to that and the woman that gave it to you.
Yeah, well, I've been with her
Going on just a couple of weeks, but not in a row.
going on 60 years, so.
Not in a row.
So,
She put
nice
up with
guy
me.
Eddie, how you doing? It's good to see you, man. Norman, thank you very much.
Okay.
When you gonna be in for him?
I see. I got to work tomorrow until 2 or 3 o'clock. How late are you open? I
Till
mean,
6
I don't
o'clock.
need to, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a couple of days to do that, whatever we got.
Okay.
I can pick it up. Pick them up both.
I'm gonna be closed on Saturday. I have a band practice. I mean Sunday. I'm closed on Sunday for a band rehearsal, but I'll be here all day tomorrow and
Yeah. I just
Monday
get-
or whenever.
My job's over in Phoenix, so
okay.
I
Thanks.
got to get some work done. I'm not worried
Why?
about this job.
Nice guy Eddie, you got your yo-yo.
So anyway, there it is.
Okay.
I told my wife I'd get it all fixed up in case I die. She can sell it.
We did a YouTube video on your
Yeah,
amp.
I said that. I
Yeah.
gotta see that one.
I just put it up last night. If any of you guys seen the amp repair video that we put up last night, did you guys watch that? It's only had like maybe 50 views.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
YouTube. I'll have to look it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Amp repair. Is that all I
Yeah.
gotta type in? Amp repair?
I know you go on to ZIMM'S Guitars
Oh, ZIMM'S guitar.
on YouTube,
Okay.
and then you'll see it just says a 1965 or a
Okay.
1966 blackface, whatever it is, whatever the amp is.
Twin reverb.
Twin reverb. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, God, I'll be in business, won't I?
Guitar Bazaar says retail price of a Starfire in 1965 was $348.99.
Okay.
So they probably charged you, Glenn, let me ask you, how much was a 1966 Deluxe Reverb? Is that what the amp is?
Twin reverb.
Twin Reverb.
Vibrato
How much?
on-
Yeah, how much was a 1966 Blackface Twin Reverb out of Milano's Music in 1965? That's our next question for you. I bet it was probably $600.
Yeah, 'cause I thought it was around $1,200 or $1,300 I think, with tax and everything.
Right.
else.
It was the case part of the guild?
No,
Oh, so
no.
you didn't even get a case.
Well, we had a case, but not that I liked.
Milano's Music has been in business in Mesa, Arizona since what year did they open up down over there?
46.
1946.
So
So
I know that
there's
is
actually a
why I can't
guitar
say that.
shop, a music store that's been in this town since 1946, and it's still there.
Yeah.
And they do good business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they sold a lot of drum sets. And good
They
stuff.
do
I
a
mean,
lot of pianos. They do
Yeah.
all kinds of strings and
Yeah,
instruments
sure.
and drums and
Yeah, they did. They had some good equipment
Uh-huh.
in there. You wanted some nice stuff.
Guy Eddie. The scallop Strat made it in one piece. Good. I'm glad. What do you think about it? Can you play it? Here's the thing about those scalloped fretboards. You play them for about 10 minutes and you either love it or you hang it on the wall forever. Yeah, Guitar Bazaar is saying that he could $600.
Yeah, what?
So
Getting about right with
$600,
taxes.
and then you have 350, so you're 950, and then you add tax to that. So it might have been about closer to 11
Somewhere around there. It was
Yeah.
more than I could afford.
once you buy some picks and a strap. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's worth more now, I'm sure.
How'd you end up getting the money for that back then? Where were you working?
I was working 3 jobs. I worked at the newspaper. I worked at
The Arizona Republic?
No, Tempe Daily News.
Oh, wow.
Worked there. I played music,
Uh-huh.
and then I started my AC company.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
doing all 3 at the same time
Huh.
to make it go. So, no, I was busy.
That's good. Hey, it paid off for you.
But this one,
Did you take cash in there, or did they have layaway back in
No,
those days?
I paid.
You had to take cash in there.
Yeah, and
They didn't have credit cards in 1965, did they?
No, they didn't. No credit cards. But when I bought this, I was playing 6 nights a week though.
Were you?
Yeah.
What was your band called back then?
Oh, just 4 of us, drums and the bass. And
Okay, didn't
lead
have a
singer.
name that
Nah,
we.
Yeah. Back then it was Charlotte and Norm, the singer, great singer, got a beautiful voice.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte Dixon, her folks.
Charlotte Dixon.
Yam Cavalier.
So we could say you were in the Charlotte Dixon band
Yeah,
back in the 60s.
yeah. Well, her and I started together, and then we got a drummer, and then we got a bass player. And we played all
Yeah.
over. Had a lot of fun. Had a lot
Eddie,
of fun.
Eddie says that he likes the. I sold that scalloped. I had a scalloped Strat
Uh-huh.
that I sold to one of my friends here that is online with us right now, and he lives in Maine. How's the weather in Maine right now today, Eddie? Because it is hot out here. But you know what? Tomorrow it's only supposed to be a high of 96 degrees.
Yeah. Wind's,
I had to get out my coat.
wind's starting to blow in now.
Yep.
No good for the fire, but
Yep.
Stock Hippie says, how much was a 1968 Telly back in those days? You bought a Guild instead of a Telly.
because I like the sound, I'm more of a jazz person.
Right.
I like the mellower sound.
What back in 65 was the Telecaster making a big
Oh
impression
God,
over there?
everybody played Telecaster.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I wasn't that fond of it.
Uh-huh.
The old Burton syndrome, huh?
I didn't like the twangy of it. I mean, everybody did, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't. I like this better.
A warmer, yeah.
Warmer, soft.
Warmer, softer sound.
Yeah.
More on the Strat side.
Yeah.
Nice Guy Eddie says it's 72 and sunny in Maine.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on our way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Send me a ticket. Plane.
All right,
I
I gotta go
Me
get
too.
it.
Bye, guys.
All right, hey,
All
thanks
right.
for having us.
I'll see you guys
Yeah.
soon.
Hey.
I'll get back to my live stream with you guys. I am back.
Thank Any customers interrupted?
Yeah. Thanks, guys. All right. So yeah, he just left this guild. Let me grab this thing since he's gone, and I'm gonna sit and strum this for you guys a little bit. I highly recommend, if you guys, once you get into the age of retirement, get it out of this case. What's going on here? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so guys, I recommend it. If once you get to close to retirement age, there's people that retire at 55, right? I highly recommend opening a little guitar shop. And if you love guitars, it gives you a barbershop kind of atmosphere where guys come in, they hang out, and they just sit and we talk, and we try not to talk politics too much. But it's almost inevitable that you're going to end up talking politics. But it's just really a fun thing to buy, sell, and trade gear. And when old stuff comes in like this, and you just get to change the strings on it and maybe put a little bit of guitar polish on it and shine it up a little bit, that's a fun day for me. I don't know about you guys if you would enjoy it. But that's a fun day for me. And hearing stories from a nice old guy that bought this guitar in 1965. And you ask him, do you want to sell it? You want to sell it? And that guy is never going to sell anything. So that's kind of, there's two guys out in the world. The guys that will buy a guitar and they have it forever. The guys that buy a guitar, they play it for a couple of months, they trade it for something else. Or even there's the third kind of guy, which is sort of how the guy that I am, where you see a guitar, you have a little bit of extra money, you just stockpile stuff. And you turn kind of into a collector. So, but I highly recommend you guys, if you can find a little spot in a strip mall somewhere, and if you can get a lease that's nice and inexpensive, open a little guitar shop, open a little ma and pa shop. There aren't that many of them around. You're not going to have tons of competition. Your only competition are the pawn shops. And if you enjoy setting up guitars like I do, if you enjoy, horse trading, it's a lot of fun. And there's I've sort of learned that I'll take almost anything in on trade. I don't especially like to do PA systems. I don't like to do old rack mount gear. I don't really like to do recording equipment because basically I don't know anything about recording equipment. And I don't do drum sets because I just want to stick to guitars and amps and pedals. But if you're the kind of guy that enjoys flipping guitars, Reverb, Amazon, and eBay are your biggest competitors. But you know what? There's ways around that. Now, if this guitar was on Reverb and you didn't get a chance to play it, and all you had to look at was a couple of photos, and you couldn't really inspect the binding, and you couldn't really inspect the frets, and you can't really inspect the electronics, would you buy this guitar? Would you take that chance and buy this guitar on Reverb? And I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys that will not go near something like this on Reverb. But when it's hanging here in a little shop like this, and you can kind of get behind the instrument and you can look it over, And like Rob Chapman would do, you can smell it. It smells like an old guitar, but not in a bad way. And it's true, Reverb and Amazon and eBay are selling tons of gear, but I think you can still make a living at this. You're not gonna, make $1 million, but it's sort of, you can take a hobby and make it a very productive hobby. And I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm having fun down here. Nice Guy Eddie says it would depend on the price, because it is a gamble buying something online. But now if you see something on Reverb that's super cheap, if this guitar was on Reverb for $300, you'd be like, uh-oh, something's wrong with it. Gerald says he's never purchased anything on Reverb. Yeah, because I know that the old small little guitar shop is a dying form of philanthropy. That's what I'm trying to say. I know it's dying out, but yeah, $99 to $3,000 on Reverb. Yeah, so if something's priced too low, then you got to figure something's wrong with it. If something's priced too high, then basically it's a guy like me sitting in his shop saying, hey, the only way I'm going to put this thing in a box and ship it to somebody sight unseen is if they pay a lot of money for it. So there's two different ways that you post stuff on Reverb. And again, that's if something is so cheap because something is kind of weird or wrong about it, or if something you're trying to make a ton of money on something. But yeah, this thing's kind of cool. Something's inside it, playing it around. Got a guitar pick or something inside that. Glenn, I'll talk to you later, man. Gerald says that I would rather buy a guitar. Yeah, I have sold a lot of stuff on Reverb. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But it's hard to sleep at night. Every time you put a guitar in a box and you mail it off to somebody, you don't know if it's going to get there safely. And it's just a gamble, and it's hard to sleep at night because you're worried about it. Now, if somebody walks into my store and sees a guitar that I have for sale, and they're like, wow, I really like that guitar, man. Let me play it for a little bit. And I'm like, okay, go ahead and play it, but keep it down because I got an insane barbershop lady next door. And they play it for a while, and they say, hey, that's a nice one, man. Let me sleep on it for a while. And then a week or so later, they come back and says, is that thing still in here? And I'm like, yeah, it's right there. I still have it, and I'll knock $50 off. Then they're like, okay, great, I'll take it. And that's the kind of deal that I like to do. Zim02 says, how would you feel about opening up your space for people to fix and touch up their gear, like people coming around and using your workbench to mod their guitars like something they bought from you? Well, I let people do that after I get to know them. I let them use my bench back there. But I'm not sure how I would be able to make any money at that, but I do. I let people all the time work on their guitars on my bench. I have the soldering iron back there, but I got to get to know somebody. I got to know who they are. But yeah, I've let people hang out behind my workbench and change pickups and do all kinds of stuff all the time. Nice Guy Eddie says that he owned a small local gun shop for about 5 years and found out a lot of people prefer to spend a little more at a local shop instead of a chain store. Yeah, maybe that might be true. Because when you go to Guitar Center, man, you're looking for a deal. You want them to discount it. You want them to sell you that item at their cost. But there's a lot of guys that come in my store and they're like, dude, I know you got to pay your light bill. So, and they throw you a $5 tip on stuff. So, and there's a lot of musicians that come in here and they still throw me $5 tips on stuff if I restring their guitar or solder something. And for a musician to throw you a tip when they're making, you know, $300 or $400 a week, that's saying a lot, right? Stock Hippie Jam says, what about eBay for guitars? Never done eBay. I hear so many stories about people getting ripped off and mailing something away and never getting their money for it. And I just didn't want to get there. I just didn't want to go there. I would rather hold on to my guitars a little while longer and wait for somebody to walk in here and play them. That's just how I do business. It's maybe not the best way to move stuff because I say a lot of good things about Trogley's music, and I don't think he has a storefront. He's all online, and he's probably making 10 times the money that I make easily. So I'm probably doing things backwards, the old school way of doing stuff by sitting in a guitar shop. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that I could do better, probably, to make more money, but I'm just kind of having a good time hanging out with you guys. And Vinny, you guys, it's amazing, but I have a video that's doing really good. I did and we're talking about Amazon now, but I did a video called The Cheapest Guitar on Amazon. And I didn't buy the guitar on Amazon. A friend of mine that comes into the store, he brought it in one day and he said, hey, I bought this on Amazon. It was $140 plus shipping. And he's like, do you want to do a video about it? I'm like, sure. And that video is at like 57,000 views in just under 3 weeks. And I'm looking at my analytics in my channel and I'm like, wow, I can't believe this video is doing that good. So it's the whole, if you can buy something cheap on Amazon, you know, people are interested in that kind of videos. But I saw Gmail today and I looked at my AdSense and I'm estimating that I probably made about $140 on that one video. So if you can get, I don't know how that amounts to how many pennies you make for each view, but on 57,000 views, I think I made about $140. So you guys can do the math and you guys can open up your and start your own YouTube channel. Nice Guy Eddie says eBay is kind of sketchy. I kind of agree with you. I'm afraid to do it. Nice Guy Eddie says, I bought a Dean Razorback bass on eBay. It showed up making zero noise. I fixed it myself, but dealing with the seller was a pain. Yeah, I don't want to deal with all that stuff, man. I'm happy just to sit down here and strum guitars and sell stuff to, you know, sell stuff to the guys that come in. Let me hang this thing somewhere. But that's a really cool story. Is the guy with the guild to buy a guitar in 1965 and to still have it. That is that sounds crazy to me. Although I still have my Fender Bandmaster that I got in Christmas of 1976. Even though I traded it and sold it 2 or 3 times, I keep getting it back. But 12 guys watching today. I appreciate you guys being on with me. And I'm going to go over and I'm gonna log out of here, guys. And I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. But I'm gonna go over and watch Philip McKnight's live stream. He started about 10 or 15 minutes ago. And he's got a lot of thoughts on Gibson and what you know, what's going on with their lawsuit against Dean guitars. Again, my thoughts are real quick. I think that when Gibson bought Epiphone in the 50s and started making a Gibson version of every one of their guitars and putting the Epiphone logo on the headstock, that started the whole thing. Let's make a Gibson from a different company. Gibson is responsible for the whole thing, the counterfeiting thing, because they bought a company and started counterfeiting their guitars. And so it's them. So anyhow, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching. And I will see you. Bullwhip Johnson, how you doing? I'll see you guys over on the McKnight live stream, okay? I'll talk to you guys all later. Have a good one. Take care.